Hi there, my name is Steve Gearhart, and as always, this is the Unagi Observer. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching the video. I always appreciate it. This week, we're going to take a look at something a little bit unique. It's a movie. It's a silent movie from 1919. It is Japanese, or kind of Japanese, and I'll explain as I talk about the movie and give it a review. Again, this is from 1919. It's a restored movie called The Dragon Painter. So let's get into it. So as usual, I was in Beyond Video, my favorite little video store, where I get all sorts of interesting movies like The Dragon Painter. And I just happened to accidentally come across it, and I was just like, oh, okay, why not? I haven't watched a silent movie in a while, and it's Japanese. Maybe this will be good for the channel. And I watched it. It's only about 53 minutes long. It's not a very long movie at all. And like I said, it's been a little while since I watched a silent movie, but I figured why not? And I had not realized that this is actually in the Congress deemed this important enough to be put into the film archives, American Film Institute, in their archives there. It was restored by the George Eastman House and the Museum of Modern Art in 1988. What's really interesting is that when they restored a lost copy of it, they had to do a couple things. First of all, the only copy they could find at the time was actually a French copy of the movie, so the subtitles were all in French. So they had to actually redo when they rehabbed the movie. They also had to put in English subtitles as well. So that when they restored it, they also did restore some of the tinting, which is an unusual thing that you see in silent movies, where it's supposed to show the viewer a different setting. So if it's at night, maybe it's a darker color, and that's kind of what you see here in the tint. But what was also interesting is that after they rehabbed the movie, they did a premiere of it in Little Tokyo in Los Angeles, and when they played it, they had traditional instruments being played with the music, because back in the day when you had silent movies, you had somebody on a piano or an organ playing a music and some guy reading the cue cards. So they actually, the text on the screen, and actually had a benshi actor. A benshi is those old style original voice actors who would stand next to the piano or whatever instruments are playing and loudly read and interpret and sort of do the script of the movie. So they had a benchi actor there to do that in 1988. Wouldn't it be cool to see something like that again? Like if they were to redo this movie, or not redo it, but re-release this in the theaters and actually have a benchi actor and like someone playing a shamisen on there. That would be really cool, wouldn't it? I would have loved to have seen that. So this is a restored movie. It is... Again, the story is basically this painter who has gone mad. He's in the mountains, and he is furiously making paintings and then casting them aside. And people who get a chance to see them before he throws them away know that he is an amazing artist, right? He is an amazing painter, but he's mad, and he believes that his fiance was taken from him and turned into a dragon, and because and this is the only way that he can like kind of cope, sort of, and he draws these things, and he's just this madness is propelling him to do his art. We hear that story a lot, artists can be insane sometimes, right? So that's what we get out of this. So as he's doing this, a painting flows down from, he's in the mountains, and he casts one aside and comes down, and a surveyor finds it, a surveyor who's going through the land. By the way, this is taken in the context of the time period is the early 1900s, 1910s. So he's doing a survey, a Japanese guy is doing a survey of the Japanese mountains, and he sees it, and he knows that his friend Indara is a famous painter, but he has no sons. He has nobody to or disciples to pass on his genius, his talent to carry on his name. And he sees this painting by Tatsu, who is, quite mad, and he goes, I wonder if I can, kill two birds with one stone, help this mad guy and help my friend here with this great artist. So they puts the two together. They meet. Tatsu is very disheveled and he's just very wide-eyed and insane. And Indara introduces his daughter, Emiko, and she does a little dance. And then Indara does a little clever lie, turns to Tatsu and says, actually, this is your fiance. She was taken from her dragon form and put in the form of my daughter. If you were to marry my daughter, I would make you my son and you would be my disciple and you would carry on my art and you would have your fiance back. So Tatsu enjoyed is like, yes, let's do the thing. They get married and he's very happy now and he's quite sane and he can't paint anymore. And I'm going to stop there with the story because you're going to have to watch the movie because you really should watch this. This is pretty good. So you get an idea of the plot. Now, here's the interesting thing. Now, this sounds like a Japanese fairy tale, does it not? Well, the Dragon Painter, the story, The Dragon Painter, is based on a book, same name, Dragon Painter, by Mary McNeil Fenillosa, an American. She was a Japanophile, and she took liberties and took various Japanese cultural things and created her own Japanese fairy tale and wrote this book. The production company, which was Hayworth Pictures, Hayworth used this guy Tatsu, and his wife played Yumeko. His real life wife played Yumeko in the movie. And used this cast of characters, of Japanese characters that were with Tatsu, who was an actor, and they were kind of like this acting troupe in Los Angeles. So the Hayworth, they said, why don't we make this movie? And it was very well received. So they made like 20 more movies with this Japanese film troupe. The film was not shot in Japan. The film was shot, the mountain scenes, the village scenes were shot in Yosemite Park. If you've been to Yosemite Park, you might recognize the waterfall, and I'll just leave it at that. So there's that. So then you go, okay, well, there's a set where it's like all very Japanese, very Oriental, very, very, this looks like Japan. It's the tea room in Los Angeles. So there was at the time a famous Japanese tea room that you could go to. And it has all the kanji in there. It has a replication of the tea houses in Japan. So they use that as a way in the mountains of Yosemite to say, oh, this is Japan. So they shot that. That's how they shot that. And like I said, it was very well received initially. People in Japan, it depends on who you talk to. Some people really liked it, took it for what it is, which was a nice little fairy tale. And other people are just like, okay, yeah, but even though the actors were Japanese, we can tell this isn't Japanese. Like, it's not in Japan. So you made a Japanese movie about Japan, but you didn't do anything really more to promote Japan and Japanese culture other than this. So there's a little bit of backlash. It's kind of like how people talk about manga that is created by non-Japanese. Is it really Japanese? So anyway, the AFI, the American Film Institute, eventually thought this was culturally important, and it was because it created an entire genre of Asian films in Hollywood that were to be seen not by Asian people but white Americans. So they said, yes, this is kind of important. And they, again, I told you the story about how they found a copy of the film, and they have obviously remastered it, and you can find it on DVD. I am sure that you could probably find a copy of the DVD in a library or something of that nature, or if you go to the AFI, you'll probably find a way to find a copy to watch for yourself. But again, if someone out there who works in a art house theater, preferably in Maryland, were to take this movie and get a benchy actor and a person to play shamisen and have this and re-release it in a theater, I would totally go and see this. So should you see this movie? Yes, you should watch this movie. you should watch it in the context of just watch an entertaining silent movie from 1919. It is actually good. You know, understand what you're watching, which is a silent movie. So there's different types of tropes and things and methods of how they did things. Like, it might seem that the actors are like, very big and over dramatic, but keep in mind that cinematography was brand new. So this was a way to, and because there was no sound, these things were used to convey thought without script. So watch that, be entertained by it, because it is an entertaining movie. It is a romance, by the way. It is a romantic fairy tale, if you will. And so yeah, watch it for the historical significance, watch it for and watch it to be entertained. I think you'll like it. Now if you happen to be one of those, well, it's not Japanese because it wasn't made in Japan, kind of let that go for a moment and just enjoy the movie. Okay, cool. So yeah, give it a go. Tell me what you think down below. Be nice, no trolling. Okay, so that is it for The Dragon Painter. I hope that my review will entice you to watch it, because I think you should. It's a wonderful little thing, and it's only 53 minutes of your time, honestly. So go out there and watch it. That is it for this week. As always, I hope to see you guys out in the world somewhere, maybe at a convention or on the street, whatever. If you happen to see me, please say hi. I would love it if you did. But that means that you have to take care of yourself, so make sure you do the thing that you have to do to stay healthy. And because I love you guys, and I want to see you out there in the world, so take care of yourselves. And as always, watch more anime.